Another man who I can never forget from the beginning of my life, or the beginning of my introduction to him until now. I still remember the times he used to wake me up for Salat al-Fajr when we were traveling together. And if a man like this man wakes you up for Fajr, you'll definitely remember it for the rest of your life. So this man, I'm very, very honored to welcome. I've shared many a pulpit with him, and it's always been an honor to welcome him onto a stage. He's the founding Imam of the Islamic Educational Center of Orange County and the president of the Shia Muslim Council of Southern California. A graduate of the Islamic Seminary of Qom, holding a PhD in Islamic Studies from the UK. He's an author of several books across an array of different Islamic disciplines. He spends much of his time participating in interfaith and intrafaith dialogues across the world. I'm delighted to present to you, please put your hands together in welcoming Dr. Sayyid Moustafa Al-Qazwini. And by the time he reaches the stage, please recite aloud salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala anbiya'illahi jami'an. Wa ala sayyidihim wa khatamihim habibi ilahil alameen. Abil Qasim al-Mustafa Muhammad. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين سيما سيدنا ومولانا الإمام أبو الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. I am honored and privileged to stand among you tonight in the celebration of the auspicious birth of our 8th Imam, an Imam that has been nicknamed Alimu Ali Muhammad, the scholar of the family of the Prophet. As you heard earlier from our dearest son Muhammad Hassan, the Imam had lived the last 3 years of his life in Khurasan. He was not born in Khurasan, he was born in Medina. 52 years of his life in his hometown and his birthplace. Then he was summoned by the Abbasid Caliph to be under house arrest. Though in public, the Abbasid Caliph Al-Ma'mun, he offered him the vicegerency, Wilayatul Ahd. But he wanted to keep an eye on the Imam. He wanted to seclude the Imam and keep him away from the masses, from people reaching out to him and listening to him. So he forced him to accept Wilayatul Ahd. But it was a plot, and Imam knew this from the day one. And by the way, Imam Al-Rida, sometimes I wonder why his ziyarah is so important. It has been singled out among the ziyarah of the rest of the family. His ziyarah is so important. As you heard earlier, it could be equal to the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein. Maybe one of the reasons, God knows best, but probably one of the reasons that the ziyarah of this particular Imam is so important and so rewarding is that because he is the Imam, the only Imam who was buried the farthest point from his birthplace, from Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara. And that is the land of Tus in Khurasan. Most of the Imams are either buried in Medina or in Iraq. But Imam Al-Rida took that long trip from Medina to Khurasan, to Sanabad, to Tus, and he was poisoned and he was killed by Al-Ma'mun. During his time, or during that time where the Imam lived, philosophy, theology, science, medicine, chemistry, art, literature, philosophy, jurisprudence, expanded. It witnessed an incredible expansion of these sciences and knowledge, because the Abbasid were busy. Some of them were killing each other. Some of those siblings, the children of Al-Ma'mun, the children of Harun, Ma'mun and Amin, they were fighting each other. So they were busy keeping their seat. So the scholars took advantage of the absence of this political dominance, and they started expanding their knowledge. So you can see a huge swath of scholars in Medina. And Imam had a special corner in the mosque of his grandfather, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That mosque, Masjid al-Nabi, was basically a school, a university that contained hundreds of students and hundreds of teachers. And the narrator states that whenever we could not find an answer to a particular question, we will go to the Imam, to the corner where he was sitting, and we will pose our questions to him, and we will get an answer, immediate answer from the Imam. Some of them said, or one of them said, the number of the questions that I had, I received an answer for them from the Imam, totaled 15,000 questions by one person only. And as you heard earlier, Ma'mun did everything possible to embarrass the Imam, to defeat the Imam, to disqualify him in the eyes of the people. So he used to invite the interfaith community. And at that time, Khurasan was the capital of the Islamic country. It was the capital. The capital was moved from Baghdad to Khurasan during the time of Ma'mun. And Imam is sitting there, and he gets bombarded by questions, one after the other. But he had an answer ready for each and every theological and philosophical question. This is why he's Alimu Ali Muhammad. And this is why he said, I want you to revive and resurrect our cause, our legacy, our affair. Rahimallahu man ahya amrana. So he was asked, Ya ibn Rasulullah, how do we resurrect your cause, your legacy, your name, your tradition? He said the answer in one sentence, my friends. If you love Imam Rida, if you want to follow him, if you want to please him, then you have to embrace this sentence. He said, يَتَعَلَّمُ عُلُومَنَا فَيُعَلِّمَهَا النَّاسِ. They would sit and learn our knowledge, strive to learn the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt. Nowadays there are online courses everywhere, available everywhere. In the past you had to travel to seminaries far away from your home. Today seminaries are in your backyard. Seminaries are online. There is no excuse for not learning the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt. يَتَعَلَّمُ عُلُومَنَا. Learn our knowledge. Shia Islam is distinguished from other traditions by rationality, by knowledge, by evidence. قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. We are the people of Burhan and evidence. Everything we adopt, everything we advocate, everything we believe in has roots in the Holy Quran. But we have to discover them. We have to know them. You have to be a Shia out of awareness, an informed Shia, a Shia who knows why he's the follower of Ahlul Bayt, a Shia who knows what is the difference between this tradition and other traditions. يَتَعَلَّمُ عُلُومَنَا فَيُعَلِّمَهَا النَّاسِ. One of the masterpieces of this Imam, which I could not find elsewhere, is when he defines Iman, the word Iman, the term Iman. What is Iman? What is exactly the meaning of Iman? We know Iman is an advanced level above Islam. Islam, any person who testifies the unity of God and monotheism and the prophethood of the Prophet becomes Muslim. Even if he does not practice, he becomes Muslim. But Iman is something else. Iman is the spirit of Islam. is the quintessence of Islam. Therefore, Imam Al-Rida puts Iman in 4 points, 4 important points. Look at the definition that he gives to this word Iman. How comprehensive it is. He says, number 1, Iman is based on 4 pillars. على 4 أركان. Pillar number 1, التوكل على الله, putting your full trust in God. You know, in our social relationship, in our family relationship, we must trust each other. The husband must trust his wife. The wife must trust her husband. But that trust cannot be an absolute trust. That trust cannot be a blind trust. The only one who deserves absolute and blind trust is God, and no one other than God. You may trust your spouse, but that is not a blind trust, because everything could change. I've seen how people sacrifice their lives for each other. After 6 months, after 1 year, they petition for divorce. Same people who could not live without each other, now after 1 year, they can't stand each other. So life changes, my friends. This is what we learn. So the only one that does not betray you, does not turn his back to you, is God. التوكل على الله. ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه. He who put his trust in God, God will suffice him. Today, 2/3 of the American nation, 2/3 of them, over 76% of the American people, they use sleeping pills in order for them to enjoy a peaceful sleep. They take sleeping pills. Why? Because of anxiety, because of confusion, because of fear. But when you put your trust in God, when you put your absolute trust in God, when you do what you are supposed to do, and then you trust God, you are not going to develop fear. ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله. People tried all types of medicine, all types of physicians and doctors and hospitals and remedies, but they still did not try this last remedy, real remedy, which is faith and trust in God. So this is the first pillar. Trust in God. Put your trust in God. Try it. Real trust, not artificial. Sometimes we say we trust God, but in reality we don't trust Him. We trust our wealth. We trust our health. We trust our attorney. We trust someone who works for the government. We trust our families. But to trust God. Don't put your trust in your wealth. You may lose it. Facebook the other day, they lost $120 billion. Did you hear that? 3 days ago. Any person can lose his wealth. Any person can lose his health. But you can't lose God. When you trust God, you are not going to lose God. التوكل على الله. Number 2, الرضا بقضاء الله. We are under God's radar, under God's care and vision. Things happen to us, to our families, to our health, to our business, to our income, to our homes. I know people, 2 days ago they had mansions in California. Today they are homeless. Their mansions were burned through these raging fires. Overnight they become homeless. They lose their dream homes. Anything could happen in this life, and you have to accept that. You may lose anything. One thing you must not lose. One thing you must not lose. That is your real capital, and that is faith in God. الرضا بقضاء الله. We should accept divine decree. We should accept it. We should not argue with God. Sometimes God is testing us. When He gives, He tests. When He takes back, He tests too. God is testing you. So accept the pleasure of accepting God's ordinance, God's divine decree. الرضا بقضاء الله. The third one, at-taslimu li amrillah. We are Muslims. What does that mean? Muslims means that there are some decrees that we have to uphold, we have to respect, we have to observe. There are certain things that are mandatory. We must do them. We cannot say, I can't do this one, it's too much for me. Nothing is too much for you. When God says you have to do this, He knows, He already knows that you can do it. If you have a strong will and faith in Him, you can do it. So don't tell me I can't. Some sisters, they say, I threw away hijab because I can't wear hijab in America. I can do that in Beirut, in Tehran, in Baghdad, in Kabul, but not in America. You can do it here. Definitely you can do it here. But you need a strong will. You need a strong connection. You need to be encouraged. Your husband has to stand with you. Your son has to stand with you. Your family has to stand with you. Hijab is an Islamic banner. Hijab is not just a piece of a cloth. Hijab is an attitude. Hijab is an identity. So you can do that. Taslimu li amrillah. Sometimes God is testing you with your hijab. And this is an easy test. You know what God did to Abraham? You all know the story of Abraham. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنْ. We put him for tough tests, and he fulfilled all these tests. He passed with honor. One of them is to see his son being, God is telling him, take your son and murder him with your own hands. There is no test more difficult than this one. At the age of 87 difficult years, this man is waiting for his first son. Because Isaac was born after Ismail, 16 years after Ismail. The first son, all of a sudden God says to him, take him to the desert, slay him, sacrifice him. Abraham never questioned God. And what is more amazing is when he broke the news to his son who's only 12, the son did not say, Dad, you are crazy. Why do you murder me? The son immediately said to his father, قَالَ يَا أَبَتِ افْعَلْ مَا تُؤْمَرْ سَتَجِدُنِي إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مِنَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Wow. افْعَلْ مَا تُؤْمَرْ. Do what you have been commanded. This is taslim. This is surrenderance to God. This is saying yes to God. This is acceptance of God. And then when he laid down, وَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَ, both of them surrendered. Both of them did taslim. وَتَلَّهُ لِلْجَبِينَ. He laid down his forehead on the ground. وَنَادَيْنَاهُ أَن يَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ. Definitely God does not want him to murder his son. But God was testing him. Because Ibrahim said, God, I love you. So God wanted to see whether this love is real love or it is a shaky love. وَنَادَيْنَاهُ أَن يَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ قَدْ صَدَّقْتَ الرُّؤْيَا. You have fulfilled the dream. This is taslim. We have to surrender to God. We are owned by God. Our journey is to God. Don't you want to stand before God? I say this to some mothers who lost their children. Don't you want to stand before God with a bright face, with a beautiful face, successful, accomplished? At-taslimu li amrillah. And then the last article of faith, the last one, the fourth one, is وَتَفْوِيضُ الْأَمْرِ إِلَى اللَّهِ. Entrusting your affair to God. My friends, sometimes we are in trouble in this life. We face some challenges, which is also a test. And you do everything possible to avoid that. Today someone was telling me, he broke my heart when I left the room in the morning. He could be here tonight. He said, my wife left me and I'm crazy now. I'm crazy. I lost my mind. I miss her. He's right. Especially after living with a person for 10 years, 20 years. You know, some people, they appreciate and understand the meaning of loyalty. And some people don't. Some people don't know the meaning of loyalty. It has no meaning in their life. They can turn their back and betray their spouses, their children, their parents. We do have such people. So in that case, if you lose your wife, if you lose your son, if you lose your income, if you lose your health, if you lose your house, if you lose your job, turn the file to God. تفويض الأمر إلى الله. What does the Quran say? وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. I entrust my life, my affair. I entrust this case, this problem to God. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَصِيرٌ. Truly God is knowledgeable about the needs of His servants. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَصِيرٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. These are the 4 articles of faith. We learned them from our 8th Imam, Imam Ali ibn Musa Rida. Don't forget them. Number 1, what is number 1? At-tawakkul ala Allah. Putting your trust and faith in God. And number 2 is Ar-Rida biqada'illah. Accepting God's decree. Satisfaction, Rida. I'm happy. The greatest word Imam Hussein said in Karbala when he lost his children, especially the young one, Ilahi ridam biqada'ik. This is faith. I accept what you accept for me. So that was the second. What was the third one? Exactly. At-taslimu li amrillah. We surrender to God. Submittance. Surrender to God. When God says, do this, Moustafa, you have to do this. I do it. Moustafa, don't touch this. Don't eat this. Don't drink this. Don't go there. We should stop. This is taslim. This is the spirit of Islam. Al-Islamu huwa at-taslim. The meaning of Islam is to surrender to God. Because God is on your side. God loves you. God wants success for you. God is not against you. God is not jealous of you. God works for you, not against you. So surrender to Him. Taslimu li amrillah. And 4th one is تفويض الأمر إلى الله. Delegating my affair, leaving my file with the best attorney in town. Who is the best attorney in town? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah bless you all, inshallah. May Allah protect you. You may enjoy, inshallah, the rest of the night here. I love Dearborn, Michigan, not just because of the Lebanese food, but because of the good faithfuls that we have here. Good followers of Ahlul Bayt. And I'm leaving you tomorrow, inshallah, back to my golden state, my home, California, inshallah. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.